How is your field awareness? And do you know what field awareness is? You know, to most, field awareness simply comes down to head checking, but it's more than that. And while it's probably your most important component, it's not the only one, and I'm going to go through those with you. But before I get to them, let's just go over what a head check is, because let's face it, a lot of people are new to paintball, and you may not know what it is. It's very simple. If I'm posted out this right-hand side down this lane, okay, I'm on my dominant hand, I'm going to simply either use my periphery to look to the inside lane, or more importantly, if I can, just make that quick turn and get a full view and come right back. That's a head check. And what I've done is I've checked my inside lane, I've checked the interior of the field, and if somebody's come up and I can see them, that means they probably got a lane on me. And I'm either going to get really tight with my bunker now, or I'm going to get out of dodge. But at least now by that head check, I have minimized my risk. And let's face it, paintball and staying alive, it's all about risk management. And head checking is an important part of your field awareness to minimize your risk. So now let's get on to the other forms that I know of in terms of field awareness. You know, one form of field awareness is backfield chatter. And while communication is the name of the game for paintball teams, those are the teams that really do well. One form of communication that's a you understood is your backfield chatter, which means they're not talking to you. And while I'm in a battle up here and I'm paying attention to what's going on in front of me, I have the wherewithal, I have the presence of mind to listen to what's going on back there. Because if we're getting flanked and I hear about it, I'm giving up this front side and I'm shooting back this way. I'm back and I'm tight and I'm ready to rock. Listen, I'm going to get shot in the back one way or the other. I'd rather go down with some self-respect and get shot from these guys that are on top of me rather than the guys that are coming back here and want to laugh at me. Here's your next form. Your next form of field awareness is attrition. In other words, when you're losing players, you should be aware of it. Just like in speedball, you want to count players walking off the field. If I'm losing players, then that's going to change the tone and the manner in which I play against players in front of me. If I've lost a lot of players, then I know now I can't play as much of a risky game up here posting in and out. I'm going to play a little more conservative. Based on the amount of players that are left, it's going to change how I play, and that's a very important part of field awareness. You know, another part of field awareness falls into the department of listening skills again, and that is, where's that paint coming from? I call it paint flow. If I'm posted down this side of the tree, and let's say again, this is the outside lane, and this is the interior of the field, I'm not just listening for one part of the field where that paint's coming from. Just because paint's heavy and hot over here doesn't mean I think that this side of the field is hot. What I need to be paying attention to is just how specific that paint flow is coming from. Is it hitting bunkers way behind me? Is it hitting bunkers right to the left of me? Is it really intense on the far side of the field? And I try to determine where that paint's coming from based on where it's going and how often it's coming. Because obviously I can see what's in front of me. And I'm probably not going to wrap the inside of this tree if I'm playing hard on the right-hand side. Again, this can happen differently in any bunker. I could be in the middle of the field playing out of a building. And I want to still listen to where that paint's coming from and what it's hitting and how often it's hitting. And that's your next element in field awareness. Hey, the last element in field awareness is support. Now, for many, support comes back to attrition, but it's more than just numbers. For me, support means who is left and where they're located. Now, if I'm up on the front line and I look behind me and I see nothing but noobs, I've lost all my good players, I now know my ass is in the wind and I got to play a little more conservatively. However, if I have everybody with me, or I have my good players, I know my next move isn't going to be quite so bold. It's going to come at lesser risk because I'm going to get qualified shooters behind me helping me move upfield. In the same respect, where they're located is also very important. If they're so far back that I'm so far up that I can't make any sort of move, I know I got to play more conservatively, I'm certainly going to think, do I need to come back with them? Which I probably won't do. Or will I just sit tight until my field players can come up and support me more? So there you have it. Those are all the elements of field awareness. If you've got some of your own, feel free to leave them in comments. And by all means, as always, support my sponsors and please circulate my videos. It's very important if you want to see more of these. Thank you.
It's too much for any man.
Hey, Danger Man here. I want to talk to you about my guns. Actually, I want to talk to you about patchwork. Patchwork is absolutely the best in injection molded patches. If you've got a scenario team or any organization that's looking for an injection molded patch, these guys are the best in the business. They've been around for years and they've been with me for 3 years as a sponsor. They treat me great. Listen, when these things were made, there was a serious process involved. and at no point did I feel as though I was with the wrong company. They treated me fantastic. They made certain that I understood that everything that was going down this pike was perfect. They've got it down to an absolute science. They really do a great job with the process. So please, by all means, don't waste your time with anybody else. Go to the best right out of the gate. It's Patchwork. Rah!